Ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin has broken above a 1.5 year long ascending channel formation that actually suggested that Bitcoin was going to go down massively. It was a bearish pattern, so it's great to see a breakout there. It's also great to see Bitcoin surge through that 40K resistance zone with massive amounts of strength. But with all of this said, with all this bullish progress, and with even the potential for Bitcoin to go higher to something like 48K, which I acknowledge, I'm still not buying Bitcoin here. It's very nuanced, okay? I'm looking at things that potentially most people are not looking at, and I'm looking at this from a perspective of TA and logic, okay? Logic is very important here, rather than from an emotional perspective of greed, okay? So I think a lot of people are in a greed mindset right now, and I'm here to break that today. It's a very nuanced video. I highly recommend you stick around. My views are not straightforward today, but they do come to a concise point towards the end. Let's get into it. Okay guys, we've seen some good stuff for Bitcoin. I'm going to keep this video short and sweet. We've seen some good stuff all around. We've seen breaks of major resistance zones. It's been very good to see. Our predictions over the last few days have played out quite well. But I also do want to point out a few things that potentially people are not looking at. I want to ground people in reality a little bit, because whenever you see a big pump like this, in the same way, whenever you see a big drop, people kind of get a bit, distorted views on how the charts actually look. Okay, let's just clarify what's happened over the past few days. So the biggest thing we've seen, the most bullish thing we've seen, has been this break, in my opinion, this break above this ascending channel formation that has been playing out since around June 2022. That's the biggest thing we've seen. The break above that channel on a weekly candle close above it is absolutely exceptional, because it debunks one of the few remaining bearish narratives that people had to go off. I do not see any remaining. Okay, and I've said this a few times. I've actually been saying this ever since the break of 32K, but I'm clarifying it here again because this structure was technically still valid. I do not see any macro bearish arguments remaining for Bitcoin. I think the 4-year cycle is very much in play for Bitcoin. I think the macro strength is very bullish for Bitcoin. I think if you look at the price a year from now, we will be much higher than we are today. In fact, I'm expecting all-time highs on Bitcoin before the end of November 2024. And potentially even before November, but that's what I'm expecting them, right? As per cyclical theory, that's what we should be expecting. So we're on track for good stuff in Bitcoin and macro scale. Okay, we've seen some good moves in the short term. The bearish structure has been invalidated left, right, and center. This structure here has been invalidated. It's good to see because it removes one more thing that we had maybe to doubt the fact that Bitcoin was cyclically bullish or macro bullish still. So it's good to see that, obviously. Strong weekly candle close above these bearish doji candles that we saw at resistance. Good stuff to see. And of course, we've got the ETF decision in just about a month, which actually complicates things a lot more than you might think it does, okay? And we're going to discuss that in a second. But I want to just say off the bat, I've been predicting, okay, since a break of 38.5K, that we would reach 40K. We reached 40K. I said that I'd potentially consider buying at 40K. I did not buy at a break of 40K. I did not buy at a break of 40K. All right, I'll tell you why. I personally, there's actually a few reasons why, but here's one of them. I personally have my average price on Bitcoin down at 21K. I don't feel the need to buy here at 40K after a 65% move to the upside. I don't like the idea of buying a pump, okay? I think after a 65% move to the upside, okay, since 25K, we're up here at 40K now. I personally think that buying that, given my current positioning on Bitcoin, is a stupid move, and perhaps it's more based in greed than it is charting. That's what I personally think. I understand a lot of people are going to disagree with that. I completely understand that. That's my personal decision. Now, I'm not telling you guys you shouldn't buy. I'm not saying anything about that. I'm saying based on my personal bag on Bitcoin and based on my beliefs about TA, buying after a 65% move to the upside with no significant correction whatsoever is not necessarily the best thing you can do. Okay? I believe we will see a significant correction until before the halving. Now, I believe as well, I'm going through my beliefs right now. I believe as well that the highest we can go on Bitcoin before seeing that correction would be 48K. I believe we will see 48K, and at 48K, we will correct from that level. If we get that high. That is the highest we can go without seeing a correction, in my personal opinion, on Bitcoin. Now, the ETF complicates that kind of a little bit, because the ETF obviously brings in a degree of unpredictability to this market. The decision is coming on January 10th, I believe. And so if we get an approval on ETFs, who knows what will occur? And I mean that quite literally. A lot of people think, oh yeah, if we get an ETF approval, we're just going to go up. I don't think it's that simple at all. I think that given the fact that we've moved up 65% over the last 3 months without any serious correction at all, What is that move based on, guys? That move is based on the ETF news. I mean, let's be real, it's based on ETFs. People are expecting ETFs to be approved. BlackRock has come out so many times and said they expect it to be approved. BlackRock has never been rejected on an ETF. It's been rejected once out of 500 claims for an ETF, you know, so applications for an ETF. So fact of the matter is the market is pricing in an ETF approval on this move. I'm not overly convinced, okay, that an ETF approval will lead Bitcoin to go to 100K in 2 days like everyone's expecting. Okay, it's just not going to happen. Okay, I personally don't think it will happen. I'm not also going to sit here and say, I'm not going to say that Bitcoin's going to crash when the ETF gets approved, because I don't really have any evidence to suggest it's going to be a sell the news event, and suggesting that would be gambling. Really, it's just a baseless claim. But what I'm saying is I'm not 100% convinced that the ETF will surge Bitcoin to the upside even further, because I think this move is predicated on the idea that ETFs will be approved, and hence the move is pricing it in right now. That's what I'm saying. It's very hard to have any definitive opinions on what the immediate short-term effects of an ETF approval denial will be. I know, I can tell you this, if it gets denied, Bitcoin's going downwards massively. So the fact of the matter is, removing ETFs from the equation, because we can't really take things like that into account when it comes to TA. It's just not possible. Anyone it thinks it does just doesn't know anything about TA. You can't take these news events that are unpredictable. I'm not talking about the approval or denial of it, right? I think it's likely will be approved. I'm talking about the reaction of the market. It's unpredictable. Into account in TA. I'm saying that removing that from the equation, charts alone, I think that we will see at the most 48K before seeing a correction. We will see a correction at some point. I think 48K will be the highest we get. Now, I believe that from that correction at 48K, the lowest we will go from that correction would be 42K. Okay, and then, so I look at the situation we've got with Bitcoin right now. We've broken 40K. Why would I buy here at 40.7K if I believe that Bitcoin will go to 48K maximum and potentially lower than that, and then come down to 40K again or 42K again? There's too much risk for too little reward, considering I'm a long-term holder on Bitcoin right now. Do you understand what I mean? Especially considering my average price is more than 50, almost a 50% loss from where we are right now. It's my average price, almost at 21K. There's just no benefit in me buying here. I just don't see a clear-cut benefit of me buying here, especially considering we've already moved up 65% in such a short period of time. That's not to say that I'm bearish. Okay, I want to make something very... That's not like I'm bearish. I'm literally claiming that Bitcoin's hit a break above this channel formation. It's broken above major resistance now. But there's just no clear benefit in me buying here, in my opinion. I can't clearly make a decision without emotional involvement at this point in time whether right now is a good time to buy or not. Therefore, I'm forced to believe it's probably not a good time because I'm not clear about it. And so I'm just not going to do it. I just don't see the point. Now, that's me personally, right? Other people, I can understand how people would buy right now. We've seen a break of a channel, for example. But I also understand that I don't want to get overly bullish, because I think people are getting ridiculously bullish right now. I don't really see the basis of it. People are getting too bullish. That's my overall claim. I think people are getting too bullish. And I'm saying that while acknowledging I think Bitcoin could go to 48K. First and foremost, how do I know we could go to 48K before correction? Well, volume profile is an easy way to look at it. Volume profile peak was here at 38. It was stacked up here at 40 as well. We broke 40. Now we've got no real spike in the volume profile till 48K. Okay, so I don't see it as completely implausible that this move could take us to 48K. But I also don't see it as completely implausible that this move could reject from where we are right now, or 42K. Okay, if we're looking at weekly chart RSI, and this is what no one's looking at, no one's considering, in my opinion, right? We've got 2019, which was a similar part of the cycle to where we are now. It was just before the halving, just like right now. We saw this ascending support line on the RSI, followed by a double top at 78 or 79 on the weekly chart RSI. We've got the same structure happening right now. Ascending support on the RSI, bounced off of it, top here at 78 or 79. Unless we break that top, we could be top copying 2019, and we could go downwards from here. I'm also aware that we've got something like the monthly chart telling us that the baseline on the monthly chart, Ichimoku cloud, this red line on the screen right now, has been absolutely critical in determining what Bitcoin does from a cyclical level, throughout the history of Bitcoin. It held for support throughout the entirety of 2017. Once we lost it in 2018 after 4 months of testing, we went downwards massively, back tested it for resistance, dropped massively. It marked the peak in 2019, which it could be doing again. Held for support throughout the entirety of 2021 and 2020. Held for support during the correction in the bull market. Once we lost it, we went downwards massively. We're coming up and testing it right now. Where is that sitting? Sitting at 42K. We could very well see a wick above it, just like we did in 2019. that wick could take us to 48k. But ultimately, if we're going to copy 2019, which is not confirmed we're going to do, but if we are, we will reject from this level. We will see a correction from this level. We will go upwards around or after the halving, and then we'll break it and we'll see the bull market from there. That's what's going to happen if we're copying 2019. Now, I don't have any reason to believe that we're not going to copy 2019 in this regard. I also don't have much of a reason to believe we're going to copy 2019. So this is where my problem is. I don't think there's any clear argument for the bulls or the bears right now from the perspective of, are we going to get rejected here at 42k or 48k? I don't think there's a clear argument. So why would I make a decision on whether I'm going to buy Bitcoin right now? You know, there's just no clarity. And taking TA alone, right? TA alone, just base level visual observational TA. Yeah, we've broken 42k. Yeah, we've broken above an ascending wedge formation. Yeah, we've broken 38.5. We do have brief resistance here at 40.8, by the way, which no one's watching as well, which we've actually rejected from on the immediate term, short term. So maybe that will be interesting to look at. But we also need to consider that the volume throughout the entirety of this upwards move since 30k has been descending rapidly, suggesting weakness, suggesting it will come to an end eventually. And volume and the daily chart RSI, apologies for my stuttering there, has reached resistance that we dropped down below and back tested before. And then even if we go higher than this, that resistance could be forming at 88 on the RSI, which will be a rejection zone. So I think I will make this claim very clearly. I think the majority of this move from 24, 25k, the majority of the 64% move is over. I think we're reaching the peak of this move now. It just really depends on whether that peak will be here at 40.8 or at 42, or potentially even on a massive scam wick to 48k for max pain. But I think the peak of this move is much closer to the start of this move, and I believe a correction is coming for Bitcoin shortly. And I also think that people who are saying this ETF news is going to be unbearably bullish, or like undoubtedly bullish, or it's just going to be bullish, there's no doubt about it whatsoever, I think they're lying. I think they're either lying or ignorant to the truth. The reality is, this move that we've seen is likely the action of ETFs being priced in. That's likely what it is. So to act as though, even though we've priced in ETFs in this move, or even though we're pricing in ETFs in this move, we're still going to see us go higher yet when the ETFs are released, it's just not logically consistent. It's not intellectually honest, and it's ignorant. So yes, no, I haven't bought Bitcoin here. Even though I'm sitting here and saying that Bitcoin is bullish from the charts, I haven't bought Bitcoin. I'll make very clear claims once again to clarify my opinion and to conclude this video. I believe the highest Bitcoin will go without any significant correction will be 48k. I certainly see a scenario in which we get there, but I believe actually there's pretty adequate resistance at 42k from the monthly chart Ikomoku Cloud, and even something like 40.8k, which we're testing right now. I don't believe the odds are in my favor. Not the odds, but I don't believe it's hard to articulate. I just don't believe that buying right now gives me an acceptable reward for the risk, not necessarily the risk of losing money, but the risk of locking up capital for that period of time and the stress that's going to cause. I don't see the reward of that, right? Because I know that a correction will be coming before the halving. I think it's very likely that would occur unless we are to deviate from a cyclical theory. Because the cyclical theory suggests that the bull market starts after the halving. And it's not the halving yet. We're not at the halving yet. And so as suggesting the bull market's going to start right now, or it's already started, is a deviation from a cyclical theory. And for the same reason that I was predicting a Q4 bottom in 2022 the entire time during this drop down, and a Q4 top in 2021 during the entire time, and this way up, and people are calling for 300k, you know, that's the same reason I'm sitting here and saying that it's unlikely that Bitcoin breaks 48 without correction, because I understand that we've got time before the bull market. It doesn't have to start now. And historically, we've only ever broken all-time highs, you know, towards 6 months after the halving, so November or December next year. So I think we've got time. I think there's no need to rush it. I think people are potentially rushing into the market thinking it's all going to start right now. I don't see the cyclical evidence for that. And even from short-term TA perspective, medium-term TA perspective, I see this move getting more and more exhausted as we head upwards. That doesn't mean it has to stop right here. That doesn't mean the charts aren't looking bullish. They certainly are in a huge upwards trend. It just means perhaps buying after a 65% move to the upside without correction is not the logical move, because perhaps that is motivated more by greed than TA. That's what I'm saying. I hope you can understand my position. I'm certainly not bearish. So I want to clarify that. But there's obviously going to be tons of people in the comments who misinterpret what I'm saying here. It's a very, very, very nuanced time in the market. We're literally a month away from potentially one of the biggest news events Bitcoin has ever seen. So I can understand how people get confused. I just encourage you guys to really try and think about what I said and really not to try to put me in a box of bullish or bearish right here. Just because I'm not buying currently doesn't mean I'm bearish. And just because I'm saying that the Bitcoin top is likely going to come in soon, we're probably going to correct soon, it doesn't mean I'm not bullish, right? It's a very nuanced time in the market. I'm acknowledging the massive amount of bullish strength. I'm acknowledging the massive amount of bullish progress, but I'm also acknowledging that people are perhaps making decisions based more on greed than TA at the moment. So I want to steer clear of that. And yeah, that's my opinion. So thanks guys for watching. Bingx exchange and Bitget exchange are two exchanges you can take a look at if you're looking for a new exchange or looking for your first exchange in crypto potentially. Bingx is global non-KYC. Bingx is global KYC from anywhere in the world except for the USA. So Bingx is for everyone. Bitget is for everyone except for Americans. And then they're both low in trading fees. They've both never been hacked before. They've both got extensive protection funds in case there is a hack to get you reimbursed on your funds. And they both have a 15% trading fee discount with my referral link. You can sign up below in the description. You'll find the links there. Go ahead and do that. It's the best way to help your channel and help my channel and help yourself as traders by saving money on exchanges. Then we've got Crypto Academy. Become a Trader 10-unit course. Everything you need to know about trading, from market patterns, candlestick formations, indicators, investor strategies and tools, strategies for trading, how to find trades, market psychology. It's all there. Check out the website with the contact details on the website below. And then finally, we've got the VIP group on Telegram. Wolves of Crypto VIP on Telegram is a altcoin trading group where I give you altcoin signals with entry, targets, stop loss, everything you need to make trades on altcoins. We've been extremely profitable in the past with a PDF showing our full transparent trading results. Every single trade we've ever taken in there, whether it's a win or loss, is listed in that PDF with the exact returns we had for the trade. And then we have 14-day free trial membership availability in there, and also the regular payment information if you want to make a payment. So guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you tomorrow.